What's up everyone, I'm Thanos and today we're stranded on a desert island, Hellapagos. We will try to survive and find our way home from this god-forsaken island. Well, she looks pretty happy though. I think this island will have some really interesting stories to tell us. So, let's dive into the box and see what's hiding inside. After becoming shipwrecked, your group of castaways find themselves on a desert island. At first, the surroundings seem like paradise, but life soon proves difficult. Water and food are scarce. It's doubtful whether everyone can survive this diet. There is only one solution: construct a large raft together. We don't waste any time, because the clouds on the horizon suggest the arrival of a dangerous hurricane. The players who manage to leave the island on time will win, if they survive of course. The big box comes with an expansion that has some additional content and changes how the game plays. So, there are 20 new object cards that are shuffled with the wreckage cards from the base game. This expansion brings another element to the game, the event cards. In this island, we're not alone. There are other castaways and we have to find out if they are friends or enemies. So these event cards have levels from 1 to 3. To create the event deck, we take 12 cards. We begin from level 1, then level 2 and level 3. And we repeat this process 3 times. This will be the event deck and we will draw cards at the beginning of each round before the weather phase. There are also 20 character cards. During setup, each player gets one character card with special ability that can use throughout the game. Depending on the number of players, deal the wreckage cards to each player and shuffle the hurricane card into the last 6 cards in the weather pile. Place the water and food counters and all other cards and counters on the board. The first player is the one who looks like a castaway, and the game proceeds in clockwise order. During the game you are allowed to discuss, negotiate, without staying true to your word of course. During each round, the first player reveals the top weather card to see how the weather will be and if the players can collect drinking water, and if so, how much. Then each player performs one action among the 4 possible ones. They can catch fish for food by choosing a ball from the bag and move the marker on the tracker. They can collect water depending on the weather card and move the marker on the tracker to the corresponding position. The sunny days are very beautiful, but unfortunately they don't provide us with any water. The main goal of the game is to build a raft and leave the island. So, another action is to collect wood. Players can choose to pick up a few branches from the beach or explore deeper into the forest and take their chances with the snakes that live there. At this point, the players announce the number of sticks they want to collect. They take the corresponding number of balls from the bag, hoping not to pick a black ball. If they are lucky, they will gather more sticks than those on the beach. But if they pick the black ball, they have been bitten by a snake and they will be sick for the rest of the round. Sickness is a condition that, apart from snake bite, can come from poisoning by spoiled food or dirty water. While being sick, a player cannot perform any actions until the next round except taking part in voting. The last action a player can perform is to explore the shipwreck and add a wreckage card to their hand. Some wreckage cards are resource cards like water and food, while others are permanent like a gun and a fishing rod. There are also special single-use cards like medicine and voodoo dolls. Finally, there are cards that are considered to be useless, like rusty keys and a copy of Corridor. Well, that's not so useless. These cards can be exchanged with another player just to trick them. As soon as all players have performed their actions, it's time to check for survival. Each player, even if they are sick, they must receive 1 ration of water and 1 ration of food. If there is a shortage, the players can either use cards from their hand to move the marker up or do nothing and proceed to voting on who will die from thirst or hunger. During voting, the first player of the round counts to 3. Everyone simultaneously votes against another player by pointing at them. You. The player who has the most votes against them is eliminated. Before voting, you can always talk and agree on a strategy and create allies that sometimes can be proved life-saving. The first player decides when to end the debate. If after voting there is still a shortage of water or food, then another voting takes place until there is food and water for everyone. At this point, you can save your skin by playing a card of the resource needed in order to survive. at least for now. But you will not escape from a loaded gun. In such a case, when a player shoots another player, the only thing you can do is deal your cards to your neighbors, receive a castaway status card with the dead side up, and wait patiently, hoping that your fellow castaways find the end they deserve. Speaking of which, the game can end in 3 ways. First, by leaving the island. If the number of raft cards built is at least equal to the number of players survived, and each player has at least an extra ration of water and food for the journey back home, then all these castaways win the game. If the hurricane card is revealed, then the players will have to get on the raft until the end of the round and have the appropriate supplies of water and food for the trip, otherwise all players lose. If there is lack of resources, then some people will have to be left behind, again by voting or by gunshot. The game can also end if everyone dies of thirst or hunger. In this case, everyone loses. There is also a tournament mode where you decide the number of games to play and whether you must play in cooperative or solitary mode. In cooperative mode, only the castaways on the raft score points. In solitary mode, your goal is to be the only survivor. There is also another variant, the voice of the dead, where the spirits of the dead are consulted for the big decisions. In this variant, the eliminated players take part in all votes. Interesting. Well, this was my story of Hellapagos. Until next time, take care and remember that I got to keep breathing because tomorrow the sun will rise and who knows what the tide could bring.